night game, the outdoor series at Raymond James Stadium. So that's a beautiful thing. And the Lightning continue to break through those barriers that the state of Florida doesn't normally get this type of attention when it comes to hockey. But when you've won a couple of Stanley Cups, as the Lightning have, 3 of them, in fact, in the last 20 years, and then, of course, the Florida Panthers won one last year, the state of Florida and hockey goes hand in hand, right? So let's do an outdoor game here in the state of Florida next year between the Lightning and the Bruins. So I think that's a beautiful thing. Now, there is some news regarding the Buccaneers, and we'll talk more about this with Mike Florio. By the way, it was a big Lightning win last night. Blackjack Braden Point, who's on an unbelievable tear. He's had a wonderful season, scores the game-winning goal late. Lightning get the win. You know what happened out west. That was a bad experience. And the friendly confines of Amalie Arena does the Lightning some good as they come away with a big win last night, 3-2, snapping their losing streak. And Blackjack Braden Point, assisted by Nikita Kucherov and Jake Gensel. I mean, that's a powerhouse line. Just incredible. As the Lightning were able to come out victorious, and now we get word that they will be hosting the outdoor game next year. By the way, for those of you who are subscribed to YouTube and X and Facebook, we are now streaming once again. The stream is back up, so you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X at 953 WDAE and at AM 620. Like and subscribe all day, every day. You can also listen to us worldwide through the new and improved iHeartRadio app. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm excited too, Coach. I'm excited about the game on Sunday night. I'm excited about Countdown to Kickoff beginning at 6 p.m. on Sunday evening ahead of the Bucs and the Commanders. And I'll be excited to host the overtime show immediately after the game ends, late Sunday night into Monday morning. So it's going to be a busy weekend right here on WDAE. And, yesterday we told you about Mike Greenberg, the assistant GM of the Buccaneers. He'll be interviewing for the Jets head coach. The Jets opening at GM. And the other assistant GM, John Spytek, has an interview lined up with the Tennessee Titans. The Titans just fired Rand Carthon after 2 years. They gave Carthon a contract extension. They still fired the guy. So ownership there has not done a really good job, and that's not a stable franchise, so to speak. Amy Adams Strunk is making some really questionable decisions. Remember,
are you professional or not?
Not. She is not professional. Because remember, and John Spytek has got to know this, and he does know this, that a former assistant GM here went to Tennessee to become their GM. That was John Robinson. And John Robinson got fired, too, after a contract extension. And then they just fired Rand Carthon after a contract extension. So, yes, it is a GM opening. There are only 32 of these jobs, too. But if I'm John Spytek, I'm very cautious, and I'm asking a lot of questions during this interview. They'll be asking him a lot of questions. If I'm John Spytek, I'm asking the Titans a lot of questions, too. They do have the number 1 overall pick, and they held on to their head coach, Brian Callahan, but they fired the GM. So the Titans are an absolute mess. So I would proceed with caution. That is my advice to John Spytek, who will interview for the Titans opening at general manager. All right, 1 hour in the books, 3 more hours to go. Coming up, can the Buccaneers make a run in this NFL postseason? Should Baker Mayfield get more run as the MVP? Is enough respect being given to Mike Evans for all that he's done? Are the Chiefs and the Lions destined to meet in the Super Bowl? What about some of these head coaching openings? Is Bill Belichick going to be short-lived as the head coach at the University of North Carolina? So many questions. We'll get some answers. Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com, NBC Sunday Night Football in America. He will join us coming up next.
Tampa Bay Sports Radio, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
At Rivard Buick GMC, it doesn't matter where you live because from the comfort of your home, you can enjoy the massive new GMC discounts with upfront pricing that Rivard is known for, saving you thousands. Check out over 650 new vehicles in stock. Find one that you like, and we'll deliver it to you, whether you're 1 mile or 1,000 miles from us. You'll receive great customer service with no hassle and no pressure. That's how we got to be the number 2 GMC dealer in the country. RivardBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ALL to 321-321. That's all to 321-321.
Hi, I'm Benny Jr. with Bartow Ford. And while Bartow Ford is in a small town, we are positioned perfectly for our customers in surrounding counties to make that drive. And we make that drive worth it. Not with just the lowest price, but the very best treatment. And let's face it, what's a little drive compared to the best car buying experience you can have? On your next purchase, don't go the wrong way. But if you can't make it to us just yet, visit us at bartowford.com. Bartow Ford, we're different, and we prove it.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Hey guys, TKras here for Catania and Catania. If you or someone you love has been injured in an accident, protect your rights. Do what I did. Call Catania and Catania, the personal injury law firm located right here in Tampa Bay. They work on a contingency, which means there's no cost to you unless they win. So give them a call. 813-222-8545. That's 813-222-8545 or online at catania.com to get that free evaluation of your case. Catania and Catania, they put families first. Office Tampa, not attorney spokesman.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
At the Home Depot, it's our business to support yours. Partner with your go-to source for building your business. We can help you streamline your operations by supplying the whole job from start to finish. Any questions? Our Pro Desk is ready to answer the call with supply sourcing, custom orders, large equipment rentals, and more. Elevate your
an iHeart radio station. It's Wednesday from Riverview to Spring Hill and all around Tampa Bay, plus worldwide on iHeartRadio.
The gloves are off. I'm playing hardball. It's 4th and 15, and you're looking at a full court press.
You're tuned into the voice of the Tampa Bay sports fan.
You're going to like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us.
Buckle up, because you're on the drive with TKras. Afternoons on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
That's been a growing process. To say that I've always been like that would be a lie. Used to, keep a lot of notes and try and prove people wrong, but that's not the way to go about life. You got to believe in yourself. You got to move on and play for each other. And that's, I keep talking to you guys about this is the greatest team sport. I love this group. And so how can I do my job the best to perform for them, to be prepared? And that's blocking out the outside noise. And
Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers tuning everyone else out. Baker used to keep receipts. He talked about that today, but this is a much more composed, much more mature Baker Mayfield, and he just put forth the best season of his career. 2 years in Tampa Bay, 2 division titles, and Sunday night it's the Buccaneers and the Commanders on Wild Card Weekend. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. Welcome back. 4:03 on your ride home. It is The Drive with yours truly, TKras, Tom Krasnicki here. You got Chris Mathis on the other side. More of your calls and texts coming up. We got a big announcement 1 hour from now at 5:05. And then at 5:30, another edition of Would You Rather. The 4 o'clock hour is brought to you by Pin Chasers, Bowling, Food, and Fun. Let's have some fun right now in the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network DA hotline. Learn more at cfbhn.org. He's standing by. He's the author of many books, father of mine, son of mine. In fact, all of his books are now available through ebooks for 99 cents from ProFootballTalk.com and NBC's Sunday Night Football in America, being led toward the ring by Bobby the Brain Heenan. From Parts Unknown, Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com, is back with us here on the program. And Mike, how are you, buddy?
Hulk Hogan the other night. What was that all about?
Oh, you're talking about Hulk Hogan and his reception that he got, the boos?
Yeah, he showed up at that Netflix thing and they booed Hulk. Why would they boo the Hulkamaniacs? What happened to all the Hulksters out there, the little Hulksters that said their prayers and ate their vitamins and played air guitar?
Well,
what happened?
Well, a lot of those Hulksters obviously are are liberals now because they were in L.A. He was a big Trump supporter, and that's why he got the reception that he got.
Well, that's a shame. Wouldn't it be nice to go back to the days when nobody knew who anyone voted for and nobody gave a crap? Wouldn't it be great if we could go back to those days?
I would love to go back there in 2 seconds. So if you build a DeLorean like the one in Back to the Future, I'm game, Mike. Okay.
Hey, they're bringing back the DeLorean, so I will buy a new one, and I'll bump my head while changing a light in the bathroom, and hopefully the idea for the flux capacitor will come to me then. Although I would already know that because then someone would have visited me to try to get me to undo whatever damage was done when we put the hole in the space-time continuum. So never mind.
Who's the vice president? Jerry Lewis? One of the great lines from Back to the Future. Mike Florio's with me.
I remember going to see that movie in 1985 in a full theater, and there were so many laugh-out-loud moments. And Ronald Reagan, the actor?
The actor?
Awesome movie.
I saw that movie too. 1985 is you're right. I think I was 11 years old at the time, and I just thought that was one of the great movies I've ever seen as an 11-year-old kid. It was phenomenal.
Well, I was 20, so now I feel like crap. Let's move on.
Come on, man. You look great. You're doing a great job. I want to ask you about a lot of the head coaching openings in a matter of moments, but what about this Bucs team, Mike? 10-7. They're in the playoffs. Give me your thoughts on what you saw at the end of the game where they got Mike Evans the record. I didn't think it was going to be possible after Bucky Irving scores a touchdown. The defense forces the 3 and out. There's 30-something seconds, and they put Mike out there. And, look, that's the Buccaneers giving Mike his respect and his credibility and showing him the kind of love that he has earned over the last 11-plus years. That was such a great moment.
Hey, they acted like they just won the Super Bowl. I mean, save a little bit of that euphoria for the postseason, but it does show how much they love Mike Evans. He has come such a long way with that team. He's a walk-in first ballot Hall of Famer. I remember interviewing him the day he was drafted in 2014, and he was so quiet. And he's still quiet, but he was even more quiet back then. And he just has been dominant every season. It was great that they did it, but it was risky, and it was a calculated risk. And, man, if that had blown up in their faces, if they put two guys on and somebody jumps the route or somebody gets injured, there's so many things that could go wrong with that one extra play that you make when you don't need to make it. It's just good it worked out for the Bucs, and they can go into the postseason, and they're going to have their hands full on Sunday night on NBC and Peacock. Got to put that little plug in there. But, this isn't the team that came to town week one that the Bucs beat 37-20, and that's going to be, I think, psychologically hard for the Bucs to accept when they go back out onto the same field with the same uniforms, the same vibe, same players, different team than the one they manhandled to start the season.
I agree. You got to throw that opening game right out the window. It was the first NFL start for Jaden Daniels, and that team has come together. They won 12 games. They're a well-coached team with Dan Quinn. They've got some problems stopping the run, and this Buccaneer offense, orchestrated by Liam Cohen, who is now a hot-shot head coaching candidate, they can put up points with anybody, Mike. You know that.
No, that's right. And the thing about the Buccaneers, they have a tendency to just kind of slip into a pothole from time to time when you don't expect it. Hell, I thought they were going to blow that game on Sunday. I thought, this is it. These are the Bucs that are capable of beating anyone and capable of losing to everyone on any given Sunday. And when are they going to have that sustained week in and week out dominance? One of the criticisms Chris Sims has of the Bucs is defensively they act like the opposing team has, an incredible rushing attack, and they crowd the line of scrimmage, or, they misplay defensively, blitz too much or don't blitz enough. And it allows them to be carved up in the passing game, especially in the middle of the field, like what happened against the Atlanta Falcons twice. So they need to be ready, because Jaden Daniels, we're going to find out what kind of level he can achieve of higher performance in the postseason. Some guys shrivel up in the postseason, some guys rise to the moment. And the last LSU quarterback to come to the NFL and do well, Joe Burrow, he goes next level in the postseason. We'll find out if Jaden Daniels can. If he does, Bucs are going to be in danger on Sunday night.
Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com, NBC's Sunday Night Football in America. They'll have the Bucs and the Commanders game on Sunday night at 8 o'clock on Wild Card Weekend. He's with me here on The Drive. So it sounds like you're leaning toward the Commanders in this game on Sunday night, Mike.
No, I'm not leaning one way or the other. We make our picks on Thursdays. I haven't really thought about who I like in this one, but I'm just saying the Commanders are a better team than I think we generally give them credit for. I think they would be the first team we would pull out of the NFC field to say this team probably doesn't have a chance. I think they have a chance. Now, look, the Packers are going to have their hands full with the Eagles too, but the Commanders have a very real chance, and it's all found money for them. That's the other side of it. There's no pressure on them. If they lose, so what? We're supposed to be here. We weren't supposed to even be in the playoffs. Let's just go out and play loose and play free. And in a 3-hour window, I think that's the hardest part of one-game winner-take-all playoff format. The better the season you have, the more you can just feel it all slipping away in that, one drive at a time, things aren't working today, what's going wrong. So, I just think the Bucs need to be on guard for that, and we all need to be on guard for that uncharacteristic but also habitual tendency to have one of those games where it's like, what the hell is going on with this team?
Well, look, the Buccaneers can play with anyone. They can absolutely score against anybody, but they're also capable of beating themselves, which we have seen time in and time out throughout the course of the season. In terms of the Commanders, you're right. I think they're a year ahead of schedule. I didn't expect them to be 12-5 and in the playoffs, but here they are with a superstar quarterback that obviously has the Bucs' attention. And we talked about the offense, Liam Cohen. They're in the top 5 in so many categories, Mike, and he's starting to get some attention from other teams. He's going to interview for the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching job. So from what you're hearing, what are the chances that Liam Cohen gets a head coaching job this offseason?
Well, we saw it happen with Dave Canales, 1-out. We could see it with Liam Cohen. I asked Baker Mayfield about it after the Week 17 win, and he said, he hopes he stays, but he understands how it goes. And, yeah, it looks like, yet again, another offensive coordinator could be walking out the door, having parlayed one season with the Bucs into a head coaching opportunity. So we'll just see. 6 jobs, and we'll see, because it's still so early in the process. He's really gained a lot of momentum, though, in recent days. And I don't know how much you talked about it or were paying attention to it, but, there was kind of a vibe that if the Bucs had blown their shot at the division title, we might see a repeat of some of the oddities of recent years where Lovie Smith's out and Dirk Cutter's bumped up at a time when Dirk Cutter was getting looked elsewhere, or Bruce Arians, quote-unquote, retiring after Tom Brady unretired, and there was a vibe that maybe that was one of the wink-nod conditions of Tom coming back, that Bruce wouldn't come back. And I know there was some discrepancy about that, and people will say what they're going to say, but it's just been odd the way that ownership has handled the coaching position, and they do what they want to do, and they don't think twice and they move on. But, look, unless they get embarrassed on Sunday night, it's not going to happen in Tampa Bay, and even then, I'm not sure it will. The question is, will Liam Cohen end up somewhere else, and could the Bucs convince him to stick around for one more year or 2 more years with a wink-nod understanding that, when Todd Bowles walks away, he's going to have that job. And they could also set up a succession plan like the Patriots did with Gerard Mayo, but I don't know that I recommend that after what happened with the Patriots and Mayo following only one season.
It's funny you bring up the Patriots because Liam Cohen's going to interview in Jacksonville. We think he's on their list, but he's a big Patriots fan. He's from Massachusetts, and he's talked about that at different points this year. I think the Patriots blew out Gerard Mayo because they saw Mike Vrabel interviewing with the Jets. They're like, we can't let this guy go across the street to the Jets. So I think that's why Bob Kraft made the move. So if you don't see Vrabel back in New England, then I think Liam Cohen absolutely is going to be an option there. Your thoughts?
Well, that's an interesting thought. And they quickly have complied with the Rooney Rule, which mandates face-to-face interviews with at least 2 minority candidates. They did that yesterday. They're interviewing Vrabel tomorrow. But the word came out today that they requested permission to interview Aaron Glenn. So, yeah, look, we'll see. And doing well as a coordinator doesn't get you a coaching job. It gets you an opportunity to go in and meet with an ownership group and try to convince them that you're the guy, that you're the answer, that you can be the one who transforms from X's and O's specialist into the guy who stands in front of the room and motivates a team, is the face and voice of the franchise, multiple press conferences every week. That's what helped bring down Mayo. You got to look the part, you got to act the part, you got to talk the part. And I don't know how many times this year when he would give a press conference, I think, is this guy trying to talk his way out of a job? I mean, you've just got to handle details like that well. And being successful at the coordinator level gives you the chance to persuade someone that you can do it. And then you do it, and it either works or it doesn't. And it's almost like when you draft a quarterback in round 1. It's a crapshoot. When you make a coordinator a head coach, some of them work out and some of them don't. And the only way to find out if it's going to work is jumping in and sink or swim.
Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com, NBC Sunday Night Football in America. You can get all of Mike's books for 99 cents on ebook on Amazon.
Not all of them. Not Playmakers.
Not Playmakers?
Don't get me in trouble.
All right, so Father of Mine, Son of Mine, and On Our Way Home?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad
not Playmakers.
Not Playmakers.
That's somebody else published that, and I don't want to get any nasty emails.
Okay.
I'm applying a discount that the publishers get to apply.
Okay. I appreciate you clearing that up. So aside from the Bucs-Commanders game, what is the other wild card game you're going to be fixated on? Is it Vikings and Rams on Monday night?
Well, Vikings and Rams is fascinating because it's a rematch of a regular season game that the Vikings lost. The Vikings lost to 2 teams this year, the Lions and the Rams. And there's also the wildfires that are hovering over this. They postponed the NHL game between Calgary and L.A. tonight in L.A. I talked to the league earlier today, got a statement from them that they're closely monitoring the situation with the wildfires. They could move that game. They wouldn't delay it. They would just move it. Phoenix, Las Vegas, something like that. that would change everything. So that's a situation that bears watching. The other one that I think is really compelling is the Steelers-Ravens game on Saturday night, because the Steelers have had Lamar Jackson's number. When they got together a month ago, the Ravens won 34-17, but the game wasn't that lopsided. It could have gone either way. And I was on radio with guys in Pittsburgh on 93.7 The Fan a little while ago. It's hard not to look at this game and think that whoever loses it, there might be some changes. There might be some big changes that are made. You know, for the Ravens, it would be a horrible failure to lose at home, to go one and done, to get beaten by a divisional rival they just beat at home. And for the Steelers, with all that stuff they did in the offseason to make the team better, they're on a 4-game losing streak for the first time since 1998. They finished the season losing 5 in a row. I don't know what the reaction is going to be because it hasn't happened in so long in Pittsburgh.
Well, that's certainly an intriguing game. I like the Ravens a lot. I think they're going to come out of the AFC, believe it or not. We'll find out. I think their defense is coming together at the right time. I think Lamar Jackson's the MVP. When you have a 10-1 touchdown to interception ratio, I think he's been great really from beginning to end, but that's certainly an intriguing game. In the NFC.
You reminded me, I got to send in my ballot. My ballot's due in an hour. Thank you for reminding me. I still don't know who my MVP is going to be. I hate to have to flip a coin over it.
So who are you deciding? Is it going to be Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Saquon Barkley? Look, Saquon Barkley didn't set the record. And I know that Adrian Peterson won MVP in 2012, coming up 8 yards short. But at a minimum, Barkley would have had to set the record. And Lamar Jackson just has been uncanny this year. And I said the other day, generally, I think as a voter, what you need to do is trust your gut. You'll see people who have votes citing all sorts of obscure and impressive high-level stats to make their case. There's always a statistical formula you can apply to justify whatever it is your gut wants to do. Don't waste your time concocting a stat. Trust your eyes, trust your gut, and don't make it a career achievement award. That's the other thing, too. That's why I'm leaning Lamar Jackson, because this isn't about it's Josh Allen's time, it's Josh Allen's turn. That's the Hall of Fame. MVP this year, Lamar versus Josh Allen, sustained, consistent success and brilliance. Look at those numbers. First guy to ever have more than 40 touchdown passes and fewer than 5 interceptions. How do you ignore that? And 4,000 yards passing, 800 yards rushing too. I mean, that's never been done as well. So I think he's the MVP. You know, you got less than an hour. I think you should write Lamar Jackson in there and just get on with your life, Mike. I think that's the way to go.
The challenge is to not take brilliance for granted, to not get desensitized to someone who is unlike anyone we've ever seen in the combination of running and passing. And the problem is, he's not as appreciated in the regular season as he could be because he hasn't had the success in the postseason. But that's not what determines MVP either.
Right.
I don't care that he lost in the playoffs last year. What happened this season from week 1 through week 18? What went down? And, yeah, I'm leaning hard that way, and I have 40 minutes to think about it and rethink it and unthink it and de-think it, and we'll see what happens.
All right, a couple of quickies for you before you write Lamar Jackson for your MVP ballot. Who's going to get the Bears head coaching job?
The Bears are uncovering every stone. They're creating the impression they're doing an extremely thorough search. I said earlier today, as somebody who used to interview candidates for internships and jobs coming out of law school, when you spend a whole day with this revolving door of candidates, you feel like you have been beaten up. And they're going to be talking to a lot of people in 2-3 hour chunks over the next several days. I don't know how they're going to keep them all straight. And there are just too many names to keep track of. I think at the end of the day, they're going to get an offensive guy. They're going to look at all the usual suspects, at least the ones who are on the list now. I know that they're keeping their eyes open for that guy that no one is thinking about who could end up being a great coach. A guy like a Mike Tomlin before Mike Tomlin was Mike Tomlin. Sean McVay before Sean McVay was Sean McVay. A guy that isn't in that group of, oh, well, yeah, that guy, like a Liam Cohen, oh, that guy's getting a – no. Who else is out there that maybe is off the radar and shouldn't be, That's what I'm keeping an eye on for the Chicago Bears, because I think they're going to go beyond the normal barriers and try to find some guys that when their names come out, we're going to be like, well, that's interesting, and maybe that's the guy that gets the job.
I got one out of left field. Do you think John Gruden will get some run by some of these teams as a head coach?
There was some noise last week. I've been hearing for a couple of months. I spent some time this weekend as I was harvesting information to use on Football Night in America about the vacancies and who to mention, who not to mention. And I was thinking about mentioning Gruden as someone to watch possibly for the Saints. I've heard his agent is talking as if he's got a job in hand for Gruden. But you know what? Here we are, 3 days in, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Has his name come up once? Has anyone said that so-and-so is interested in Gruden or is talking to Gruden or has interviewed Gruden? Now, if you're currently with a team, it's impossible for your name not to come up if a request has been made to interview you, because that's the procedure. Everyone will know who Liam Cohen's going to interview with, because you have to put in a slip with the league requesting permission, and the permission must be granted. But for guys like Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, John Gruden, who aren't currently with teams, Mike Vrabel, there's got to be a separate independent report. But why wouldn't you? If you're trying to create a groundswell for John Gruden, why wouldn't you put it out there if there was someone interested? Why wouldn't you try to do it? Unless they're concerned that the PR blowback would shout it down and derail it before you had a chance to get it. But I think the better approach is legitimize it, normalize it, get his name out there so people know he is in play, and we'll see. But, yeah, if he's going to be in play, that's the one name that hasn't come up yet.
Interesting. All right, he's Mike Flory. You can catch him NBC Sunday Night Football. They've got the Bucks and Commanders game. You can read him at ProFootballTalk.com. And his books, Father of Mine, Son of Mine, On Our Way Home, available for 99 cents. Ebook on Amazon. And, of course, old-time wrestling fan as well. Mike.
What you going to do when you show up for a Netflix show and they boo?
1.21 gigawatts, Mike.
I'll see you.
All right, I'll see you, Mike. Be good. Oh, my gosh. We could just talk to him about anything, man. Back to the Future. I didn't expect that. What a great movie. Love that movie. Love it. And I think I convinced him to vote for Lamar Jackson for MVP.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. I mean, he was not going to answer it. Then he was like, I'm leaning Lamar Jackson. And then he rocked with that. He said it'll come down to the Hall of Fame time for Allen versus Jackson.
And I think some voters are going to judge Lamar by his lack of success in the playoffs. But as Mike mentioned, that's not the MVP is the most valuable player for the regular season. And if you just break it down that way, Lamar Jackson was great from beginning to end. 41 touchdowns, just 4 INTs. And if you go over his interceptions, none of those INTs were his fault. None of them. So I think he's been the best player. I think he's going to win MVP, and I think he's going to beat the Steelers again this weekend. I think the Ravens come out of the AFC. And I think things are breaking right for the Lions. They got home field advantage. They got the bye week, which was enormous for them. And now they're going to get healthy guys back. They got Anzalone back. They're going to get David Montgomery back. A masterclass by Aaron Glenn against Sam Darnold. I think that cinched him up. A head coaching job in this league. Offense, obviously, they're explosive. They're prolific. They can beat you so many different ways. Kind of like the Bucs offense, too. Well, I think Detroit-Baltimore is probably the Super Bowl at this point. Yes, I did leave the Chiefs out of it. I know they've got the bye. I know they can win games late. All of that stuff. But I just kind of feel like the Ravens are peaking at the right time, especially defensively. That was my only question. On the defensive side, what's happening back there? Well, they've shored things up on that side of the ball. And if Zay Flowers' knee injury isn't serious, I kind of like the Ravens to come out of the AFC, believe it or not. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Pin Chasers, bowling, food, and fun. That was fun with Mike Florio. Interesting stuff there. 888-546-4620. Text at 82945. Big announcement coming up at 5:05. Would you rather at 5:30? We're here until 7 o'clock. On the way back, Good news for the Buccaneers on the injury front. We'll tell you about it ahead of the Commandos wildcard game. That is next.
You're locked in to The Drive with TKras.
All right, be careful. All right, be careful. There's a lot of people out there. I see some crazy drivers all the time, man. I was involved in an injury accident, unfortunately. And when I got into my mishap, I called on my guys over at Catania & Catania, the personal injury law firm located right here in Tampa Bay. They've been doing their thing the last 30 years. They don't get paid unless you get paid. And they've been getting a lot of money for their clients. Almost $1 billion has been successfully recovered by my guys for injury victims just like you. So protect your right to protecting mine. And Jordan Whitehead got involved in his mishap. He should be on the phone with Catania. If not him, then the driver of the GMC pickup truck. Call them, because if you've been victimized, these are the guys you need to call, whether it's an injury, accident, product liability, medical malpractice, Social Security disability as well. Catania can help you out. 813-222-8545. That's 813-222-8545. Or get a free evaluation of your case online at CataniaandCatania.com, where they put families first. Office Tampa, not an attorney spokesman.
WDAE
Traffic update.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Crash being cleared on westbound Bloomingdale at Bryan Road. Also, we're seeing delays on westbound Hillsborough Avenue approaching Himes due to a crash, and one on Lambright and Sly. Building traffic on the interstates northbound 275 from just off the Howard Franklin to past Dale Mabry. Get traffic info around the clock by searching News Radio WFLA on iHeartRadio. I'm Randy Myers.
Lowe's knows how to save you time and money. Order what you need by 2 p.m. to get it delivered same day. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Craving.
Hi, I'm Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins with 10 Tampa Bay. Download 10 Tampa Bay Plus and get breaking news, weather updates, and newscasts on demand for free on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Start streaming today.
Tune in every Friday for Football Friday. We'll be talking college and pro football with some of the industry's best experts in fantasy, odds making, and commentary. It's Football Friday on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620, home of the best box coverage. Presented by the team at Wesley Chapel Lexus. When you think Lexus, think Wesley Chapel Lexus.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's